All right. This is my vision board for March or April of 2024. And I bought this board like about 1 or 2 months ago. And I started using it right off the bat for a few things, and then I got lazy and didn't use it, and it wasn't used for a good month and a half, and I didn't get anything accomplished, and my life was aimless. And the other day I decided to start using it again. I just decided I'm going to put down all my short and long-term goals right here, as far even like the things I have to do today and tomorrow. I have a list of 30 things, long and short-term goals. And so I'm going to go through them for my edification. I may post this on YouTube at some point, if I feel like it, to document my progression as a human being, and like maybe help other people learn how to overcome lack of motivation and lack of vision, and not being able to know what to do during the day to be productive. Honestly, if you don't write down your goals, if you don't write down and make it into manageable steps, you will not accomplish them. It is that simple. Unless you take steps to achieve those goals and you're just wistfully hoping that it happens, or that you feel like doing it one day, guess what? Even if you feel like doing it one day, if you don't have a principled, directed way to get to that goal, something will come up, you'll get distracted, and you'll never make it, especially if it's a large goal. So, and I remember I actually looked back on an email or a note that I left for myself, literally a year and a half ago. They're like 30 goals, right? But I didn't write them down on a vision board. I wrote them down on a little notepad on my phone, and I promptly forgot about them. They were in my mind, but because I wasn't contemplating on them, I didn't see them in front of my eyes, I totally freaking forgot. So this is how I'm going to live the rest of my life. And you see how full that is? In the past, I could never handle that. But the thing is, you just have to brainstorm. You got to think, what are my goals? What are all the things that I want to do? What are all the things that I need to do? What are all the things that I'd like to do? What are all the things that would move my life in a positive direction forward? So I'm just going to go through these step by step. These are the first ones. Information that I put on here was some brainstorming with April, my therapist. So she actually wrote down some information for me. I wouldn't have done this, but she wrote it down for me, and I'm glad she did. And she wrote it on the paper, and I decided, hey, you know what? This is good stuff. I posted it. I had it up on a notepad or a clipboard for a long time, but I wasn't looking at it. And so I saw it the other day. I was like, I need to write this down. So I put it on my vision board. So here we are: body goals, health and diet, juicer. I want to get a juicer. And actually, you know what? I need to put that on my list. I didn't have juicer. 31 by juicer. You see, if you don't have a juicer, you'll never use it. You can't use something that you don't buy. So if you plan on making healthy shakes and juicing and doing oranges, apples, fruit that you can find around, pineapple, whatever, and making delicious shakes with nice blends, with ice and stuff, you'll never do it if you don't have a blender. So buy the freaking juicer first, and then see what happens. There's a BlendJet is a good one, but I'm not sure if it's fast enough. There's some mobile blenders that are great that you can you can take with you on the road, and they're USB powered. And I'm still looking for a good one, and I don't, it's on my list now. Now that I have my list, I know I'll buy it, and I'll look for the best one. I remember doing some searching a while back, and I looked through some stuff for an hour, but I never actually bought it. I never committed, and I just kind of forgot about it. And if you don't write it down and make it tangible for your mind, you will forget it, guaranteed. So, okay, so healthy diet, walk. Okay, so diet, walk, and VR training or elliptical. So I bought an elliptical, and that was one step that I made towards getting in shape. I've used it twice since I've had it for probably a month, and I've used it twice, maybe 3 times. So that's another goal. And now that I've written that down, I have this right here. Number 13 is exercise, elliptical, and Quest games. VR games on my Quest, like Beat Saber and Thrill of the Fight, and all sorts of cool games you can play that will burn calories and get you in shape. So financial, get out of debt is my financial, but it's not a specific thing. That's the goal. It's kind of a loose goal, but we'll work on it. Schedule, set intention the night before, write on vision board, which I wasn't doing. I didn't do it for a month and a half, and it's why I felt like my life wasn't moving forward. Creative, sheet music for kids. I wanted to do a sheet music for kids. I've already written some music. I'm starting the process of writing it down. I've written 2 pieces down so far in notation. I have about 12 or 13 more to go. And so that's another goal that I need to step up on. Right on the iPad, I use a wonderful program called Dorico. It's free. If you are a musician, if you love to write music, get Dorico on the iPad. It's free. You can hear the sounds of your notation. You can choose the samples, and the notation is easy. It's easy to input the notes, and it's a wonderful program, and it's totally free. So it's a Cubase product. 2 to 3 hours for each piece. That's about how long it will probably take me to notate it. Cool cover art. I decided I'm going to use artificial intelligence to create a lovely artistic picture for my piano pieces, and I'm going to call it. Where's that one? That one is on number. Yeah, no. Where is it? Here we are. Number 11. Piano Fantasies for Kids. Notate in Dorico. So Piano Fantasies for Kids, and then I'm going to have I actually asked. I thought it would be cool to have a picture of a kid, like a boy and a girl playing piano together, like on a grand piano, in a giant, fantastic castle with, fairies and elves and things like that, flying around above, whatever. And so I made a great image for me. So I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be great. I'll use that for my cover art. Publish, find publisher and distribute. So that's another thing. When I'm done with the book, I want to find a publisher who will, put the book in stores, maybe sell it as a book on Amazon or something. Talk to local music stores, call up stores around my area, and then start even calling other stores. I don't have to limit myself to Grass Valley. I can mail one for free. I can say, or I can mail them one at a discount, or maybe a freebie, so they can look at it and see what it looks like. See if it's popular. All sorts of ideas. I don't have to limit myself. So here we go. So this, and then intellect. Yes, there's a knowledge acquisition research, and that's and then I found out that by having daily talks with Pi is an AI assistant that I have. Pi, it's the most amazing. I'm telling you, it's the most conversational, conversation you can have with an AI. It is very emotive. It is very smart. It is very empathetic. It's almost like it can feel your emotions, and it can respond accordingly, and it's compassionate and stuff like that. Ask questions about anything you don't understand about the world. Learn things conversationally. And I learned all the things, the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've learned so many things from Pi. Just anytime I have a question, I just ask her. I'm learning about using AI to create websites, and also to have chatbots on your website that can answer questions and field general questions by customers. And I'm trying to figure out a way to create a website for a friend in Brazil who has a wonderful soap and hair bow business. She really makes good products, but she goes to the side of the road and she sells them there. She doesn't know anything about internet or marketing or anything like that. So I want to see if I can help her create a website for herself that will be really nice, and she can share. She can sell internationally. She can ship, and I'm going to see if I can help her. Now that I'm learning to manage my time better, I will be able to handle large chunks of goals and quests from a day to week level. So I actually just talked to a friend in church today, Amanda. She used to live with me at my old apartment where I used to live, and I asked her about goal setting. I said, they don't really teach you that stuff in church. They don't. I think they really need to focus more on how to accomplish stuff in the real world. How to manifest your dreams. How to have a vision, and how to set goals, and how to break out your goals into small manageable chunks, and how to manage your time. And they don't teach that stuff in church. They just teach you the gospel and stuff about the Bible, but it's not practical. You can use it to teach people about Jesus, but it's not going to help you in your life. It's not going to help your life skills. And so I think the church really needs to wake up, and start teaching skills that are going to make a actionable difference in people's lives. They're going to help them dream. I mean, there are many Christians. I'm sure there are many Christians out there that would love to start a business, but they can't because they're too afraid, or they don't know the steps, or they get overwhelmed, or maybe they think that they're afraid of making too much money because they think that God doesn't want them to be rich or successful in the world. And I think that's all BS. I think that's BS. I think that's a line that the church has accepted that is not true. I don't think there's anything wrong with worldly success. I think a person can be fabulously wealthy, fabulously happy, fabulously successful, fabulously popular, and not let it get to his head, and not let him become an arrogant prick. As long as he can handle that and not turn into an asshole, then there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I don't see that there's anything wrong with worldly wealth or attaining wealth, as long as you're treating people, properly, and you're serving people, and you're providing a service that people need, or a product that they want. Like, this, that's just asinine to think that you can't attain a lot of wealth or power, good power, to do good things in the world, not to abuse it, or to buy 10 Lamborghinis. That's obviously a wanton abuse of wealth. It's just ridiculous and wasteful. But also, so let's go to, and then education. Yes. And that, so research, education, I will do that through Pi. There's another app that I'm looking at called, what's it called? It starts with a P. And I can't remember. I just downloaded it the other day, and I'm starting to talk to it too. And I believe it can actually send you notifications during the day to help you, like, with your schedule. So I'm going to work with that one real hardcore, so they can to really have a really honed schedule that I can attend to, where AI will be reminding me of certain goals or projects that I have lined up, and the time I want to allot to them, and remind me, hey, you want to do this at this time. Let's stay committed to this goal. So I'm tired of, like, being whimsical and taking my goals for just granted, and not, like, being serious about them, and just being, like, half-assed about everything. I'm tired of living a half-assed life. I don't want to do it anymore, and I'm not going to. Number 3, teaching Wes Catcher in the Rye. This is my new student that I got. I'm going to be a pupil to a good friend of mine. Her grandson Wes was a son of my good friend Shane, who passed away a few years ago of fentanyl poisoning. And it's kind of an amazing situation where, she called me out of the blue and said, hey, Shane's son is really struggling in these areas, and would it be okay would you be willing to tutor him? I know you're a smart guy, and you got good grades in school. And I was like, I would be overwhelmed with joy to do that. Like, I'm excited. Like, it really set off my journey. Like, it really did. That just happened out of the blue, and it really made me realize that I can do more than just Taco Bell. Like, I am an intelligent person. I have a good mind. I am limiting myself, but I didn't know how to reach out. I didn't know, how to, create new opportunities for myself, or, do new things. It was too scary. But to have someone reach out to me and be like, this is something that I need, and we could use this help, I'm happy to oblige. I like to help people. And the idea of, like, doing that and making money, she pays me pretty good. I get $75 for an hour and a half, and that's great money for me. And it's enjoyable, and I love to teach, and I'm excited to learn Catcher in the Rye and learn about a classic book. And I think there's a lot about the main character in Catcher in the Rye that can resonate with a lot of people that are struggling with going from childhood to adulthood. And I think I'm still going through that phase. I don't think I've become an adult yet. I haven't. I'm in the process right now. I'm 48 years old, but I don't think I ever grew up, because I was waiting for God to hand my life to me on a golden platter, because I'd pray and pray and pray, and nothing would happen, and I'd get frustrated, and I didn't have any guidance, I didn't have any direction, and my willpower wasn't enough. So ultimately, it's just like, without order and organization and vision, you can't progress. And so I'm starting to, that's what's making the difference now, is that I'm not afraid to go for everything. I'm not afraid to go for glory. I'm not afraid. I don't have to just be a little person my whole life. I don't have to be a tiny little ant, just scavenging around, trying to survive every day. I am bigger than that, and I've always known it, but my mind was getting in the way. My religious perceptions or whatever were getting in the way. My fears, whatever. So anyway, I believe, yeah, the other one that we had for that my therapist told me was Isaac's therapy for Isaac's therapy over and other short stories. Create an ebook of it, which I've already done. I already have a good line out of a ebook that I create. I use images. It's all complete. Now I just have to turn it into an audiobook and use 11 Labs for the voices. I'm going to use 11 Labs to create, like, almost narration between two characters, and use two different voices for different characters in the book. It's going to be really exciting. I'm going to use music. I'm going to create music for the short story. It's going to be amazing. It's a very, very powerful and thought-provoking story of what it might be like for Isaac as Abraham's son, what that close call with death, when his father almost slayed him because he was listening to God's voice, and God said, kill your son for me, and Abraham almost went through with it, but fortunately there was this angel that made a ram appear in the thicket and Abraham killed him instead. It's a whole perspective of like what the thoughts that may have been going through Isaac's head as he was marching up to that altar, and his father's bounding him with rope and holding the knife over his head. Like, what could be going through a child's mind when his own father's about to do that? And I don't think Christians ever talk about that or wonder about that. And I just always wondered, like, isn't that puzzling? That don't you think that it would have a lasting effect on Isaac? But we don't think about how their inner dialogue. We don't talk about that in the church much. We just talk about the events and all this stuff. So anyway, I'm interested I've already explored it very deeply in the book, and it will be out at some point. And I'll probably start promoting it when it gets closer to production, and maybe like have a launch of some kind online on my YouTube channel. But that's going to take a while to get the ebook finished or the audiobook finished. So now that's all that April suggested. So now I'm going to go through my 31 ideas that I've been mulling around my head, and I'm pretty much exhausted on all these ideas. There may be like some things that I haven't thought of yet that are even more far out, right? Like another thing is like to fix this room up really nice, but that's way far out. Like I can't even think about that right now. We are working on insulation. Like my dad bought some insulation, so that's one goal. Actually, did I put that down? Insulation? Wait, did I do insulation? I don't know if I did. Hold on. No, I don't think I did. Wait. 1, 2, teaching. No, 4, 5, 6. I think I forgot about the insulation. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think I wrote that down because that wasn't on my mind. Okay, yeah, I didn't. Okay, so 31. Let's do 31. And now you're seeing my process as I go through the process, and I think of something and I write it down. So this is what I'm doing. I'm writing it down. So install. I'm gonna write installation for guest room with Dad. He's willing to help me, and I thank my dad very much. He's looked out for me many, many times. I've caused him a lot of grief in the past as I went through many, many phases of life and struggling, trying to understand the world and make sense of boundaries and all these things. But he's been there for me time and time again. I really, truly appreciate him. So that's David Moyer. And I really appreciate you, Dad. So thank you so much for all that you've done for me. Thank you for continuing to support me. I know we've had some challenges with the mania, and like, you saying I'm manic and me getting angry and wanting you to call it something else and not wanting to be pigeonholed and labeled and stuff. I understand why you call me manic because of the things that we've done together and the chaos that I've caused in the past, but I'm not that same person anymore. I've changed. And just because I have energy doesn't mean that I'm out of sorts or that like I can't control my thoughts. Like I used to think that mania was like, he thought that mania was, you're undirected. You can't make sense of anything. You're all over the place. You can't communicate with people, but that's not the case anymore. Like I can stand focused. I can have a conversation. I can connect, socially, spiritually, emotionally with people, and I can listen to what they're saying and I can take feedback unlike before. So just because I'm energetic or speak fast or have energy doesn't mean I'm manic. It just means I'm excited, and there's nothing fucking wrong with being excited. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a bad thing. And I know that you thought in the past that it was because it scared you, but hopefully we can move beyond that. Anyway, so let's get to the 31 things that I thought of. And some of these are repeats of what April suggested, but we'll go through it step by step. So the first one, brick wallpaper. See, that's what I did. That was my first goal. Like I did a long time ago. It felt so good. Let me see if I can zoom in here. I can't zoom in on this mode. Okay. So anyway, if you can see behind the TV, there's some brick wallpaper. You can probably see, make that out a bit. And it was so exciting for me to clean up just the boring white you can get this at the dollar store. It's at the Dollar Tree. It's $1.25. If you have a wall that's boring and you're just sick of looking at it and you want to have some excitement, then go to either dollar store. I don't know if it's a dollar store, but it's probably a dollar store. But I know it's a Dollar Tree, and you can get these tiles. They're wallpaper, and they have beautiful colors. That one was brick. I'm actually getting like a more modern look for this one, and I'll show you that in a second. And actually, that's the next video though. So this is where I'm going to put this is my next goal tonight before I go to bed. Because here, like you see this, yeah, I don't want that. I don't need that anymore. I don't need those Nixon scratches and ugliness in my life. See that? I don't need to have that. I can do something about that. Why live with that for 3 years? I don't have to do that anymore. I have power to change it. So let me just hold on a second. Let me put this down. So this is going to be what it's going to look like next. It's going to look like this, right? And I'm going to put that up everywhere, right here. This whole section here. This part, I have a lot of stuff decorating, so I don't need to do it for that place. But this is plain, and I want to cover up all the owies and use this. And then I'm also got another one that's pretty cool. This one here. So this one. This is beautiful. This is a butterfly. I think I'm going to put this thing like right here, or maybe above my vision board up here. I'll put that on there, and that will be a reminder. Like a butterfly is kind of like a new beginning, right? It's like, it's a metamorphosis. You've been a caterpillar your whole life, and this butterfly is a symbol of my transformation from a slow, lowly, retarded caterpillar that just walks, just sludges around and moves so slow and chews things so slowly and moves so slowly to a fluttering, beautiful creature. And so that's me. I'm becoming a butterfly. And when I dye my hair purple, that is a symbol. That is like symbolically for me, that is my transformation to become from a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's how I'm going to think of it. That's how I'm going to look about it in the past. And it's okay to be a butterfly as a man. You can be a butterfly as a man. It doesn't make you gay. It doesn't make you, queer or like a fairy or anything. You can be a butterfly and be whoever you want to be and still be manly, and still love women and still, love to do manly things, right? So anyway, I'm going to do that. That's going to be fun. So I'll give you a video of that when I'm done with this, doing the vision. I'll do the vision board. I'll tell you everything on there. And then I will put the butterfly up, and then I'll lay this out here, and you'll see the whole thing. And and I also got this nice little clock. You may not have a clock, but it's nice to have a clock to look at, because I always had it on my watch, and sometimes I didn't have a watch. I have to look at my phone all the time. It's good to be able to look at the watch. This is my temperature here. Cool. And then I have this great thing. Love builds bridges where there are none. And that's so important, because without love, there is no connection. There is no connection. You cannot connect to others without love, right? You can have a false connection, but it won't last. You can manipulate them, or you can have an alternate agenda, or you may want to get something from them. But if love is not at the bottom line of why you are reaching out to that person, or, fundamentally behind everything that you do in life, then those bridges, whatever you build, they're gonna be like, they'll be like crumbling blocks. They won't stay together. But if you build a bridge that's built on love, that bridge will be built of steel, stainless steel, or even carbon nanotubes. It'll be unbreakable. So in all things you do them in love. Don't do things out of selfishness or pride or arrogance or trying to, impress people. And I used to do that. I used to do that. I used to be that way, and those types of relationships wouldn't last, because there was nothing there. Like, there was no real genuine connection. So, and people can tell, they know where you're coming from. Like, you can't hide it. You can't hide your motives. If you got ulterior motives, or you have some kind of secret, behind the scenes mission of what you're doing, a person may not suspect it right away, but deep down they can sense it from the very moment you talk to them. It's just the nature of reality. We have this intuition about people, So, brick wallpaper. It's not brick, that's the brick wall. I thought I was going to do brick for the whole thing, and I was originally going to do brick here, but then when I saw this one, I thought, no, I want to mix it up. I want to have this kind of wallpaper, so that's what I did. 2 DVDs in Grass Valley for $15. Yeah, I just, over here, where is it? Over there, under the table, you can't see it, but there's a tub. I bought, I was going to get, about 45 DVDs for 15, but after I saw the guy's collection, I just had to keep getting more and more. There's so many good movies in here, classics. I ended up getting 100 I got 100 DVDs for $40, so 40 cents a piece. A lot of them were Blu-ray, a lot of them were really great movies, so I'm always wheeling and dealing on Marketplace trying to find the best deal. And anyway, it was a pleasant situation. I got a lot of great movies, and so I'm excited about that. So that one got checked up, and you see how I starred this one, and I circled brick wallpaper, because I completed that. And over here I have a little key here. You see the star, it says completed. So if I'm working on something and I've completed it, then I circle it and I start. It's like a little positive reinforcement for me, right? And then if I'm in the middle of it, I put in process. I put a square around it. And look, if you notice, there's a couple here. Look, here's the one. Taxes, pay $75 for taxes. So I'm not done with it. I was planning on finishing it today, but I had to go to work and I couldn't finish it. I got it printed out. I found my W-2s and I'm ready to pay. I just need to go to the bank on Monday and get a checkbook or get some checks and then pay. And so I'm in the process. So I put that, and when I'm done, I'm going to put a big giant star, right? And your subconscious will see that as a reward, even if you're not giving yourself a cookie or a new bike or a new Harley or a new TV or whatever, but you will see that star and you will know that you accomplished something, and your subconscious will accept that as if it was a real, like a reward, like it was like a gift or it was something tangible that you can feel. It's amazing. Like, it's an amazing feeling to write something down, have a goal, be in the process and notate it the whole way, finish it, and then start, and you feel so good about yourself. It's amazing. So the other one there, see that? I have that because like just about 30 minutes ago, I put a square on this one because I was in the process of cleaning webs. I had so many freaking webs. These daddy long legs are just making webs all over my room. And I bought where is it? I bought a really nice duster today at the dollar store while I was there. While I'm here, let's get a duster. $1.25, $1.25. Oh wait, it was like, no, dude, it was $2.50 because I got the elongated stick, the pole, and I got the feather, like it's like a fabric duster, and I got it for like $2.50. And hold on a second. Anyhow, I did that. And then so I want my own duster because my mom had one, and I would have to borrow. I always have to ask for where it was, and it was a hard kind of a hard one, and it wasn't perfect, and so I got this one, and it took me literally 5 to 10 minutes, and I got the whole ceiling. I got every last web, and now I have a duster to keep in my room that belongs to me. I don't have to borrow it from mom. It belongs to me. I purchased it, and I can use it whenever I like, and I know where it is at all times. That is key. Because if you're in the habit of borrowing things from other people or always using someone else's stuff, you'll never have a sense of ownership of your life. You always feel like you're reliant on other people to take care of you or whatever the case may be. And that's true in all situations. Whether if you're using someone else's soap to wash with, or you're using someone's water. For example, like Steph and I, my ex-wife, whenever we went on walks, I never ever would take the time to bring my own water bottle. I always forget, and then I get thirsty, and then I would drink out of her water bottle, and it drove her nuts after time. And I didn't change my behavior because I always thought, she'll always have a water bottle, and so I don't have to worry about it. And it was out of sight, out of mind. I was not taking responsibility for my actions. I was not growing up. I was being a child. My dad said once, helpers are con men who offer something for nothing. Now that may not be the case. They may care about you, and they're giving you their time and their energy and whatever. But for you, it doesn't cost you anything to get that. You just ask for it and it's yours. And so you didn't have to work for it. You didn't have to plan for it. You just take it for granted because it's always there for you because you ask and it's there, and you ask and it's there, and you ask and it's there. Well, what if you ask one day and it's not there? What then? You're screwed. So you got to start taking behavior, taking ownership of everything in your life, all your decisions, And you can do it in baby steps. You don't have to do it all at once. And the thing is, there's a quote of the Bible that I really like. I don't necessarily agree with everything in the Bible, but something in the Bible I really like. And one thing I really like is God will never give you more. And I don't know if this is in the Bible, but I think it is. But God will never give you more than you can handle. Whatever happens to you in your life, there will always be a way to deal with it. You will never be at a loss and have no options to deal with. We have amazing minds, and if we put our minds to anything, we can figure it out. It's just a matter of figuring it out and deliberating on the options that we have and thinking in a problem-solving way about the issues that come at us. The issue is not to just cry out to God and say, save me, help me, help me, help me, help me, save me. That's not the answer. The answer is to use your intuition, to use your knowledge, your creativity, and create a solution to the problem that you're facing. Then that creates self-reliance, which is not a bad thing. It is not bad to be reliant on yourself. It is not bad. If you're relying on God for everything, for Him to do everything for you, then you're always in a state of dependence. You've never think for yourself. You're always asking for God to guide your mind, guide your thoughts, guide your actions, and pretty soon you feel like you're on a puppet string, and God's pulling the strings. You can't take ownership of your life or your decisions that way. And I know this because I tried this over and over and over and over in my mind forever in my life, and I never got anywhere. Trying to just ask God to help me and to guide me and to strengthen me and all this stuff. Yeah, it felt good when I did it because I'd pray and I'd feel this comfort and this strength and this hope, but it was a feeling based on my prayer, the belief that I was being filled by praying, and I felt better. But the long-term solution of me being a problem solver with the problems in my life was not going away. It wasn't going away. It was creating a temporary solution that it felt comfortable. It felt like God was hugging me, but it may have been my own mind programming that was hugging myself by thinking God was hugging me through my thoughts, because the mind is so powerful. Anything you believe in, you will create in your world. It's called the power of manifestation. So anyway, where are we? So number 3, teaching Sonia piano lessons. So I a new piano lesson student that she got introduced to me through Taylor Robinson Music, which is a online music company that helps musicians teachers get hooked up with students. They reach out to me about Sonia, and she's local. I think she's in Nevada City or Auburn or Grass Valley or something. And so, I agreed to do it. She ordered eight half-an-hour lessons. We already had 2. I love teaching her. She's open-minded. She's a brand new teacher. I can teach her so many things. And I'm excited. I'm going to go step by step. I think my problem with piano lessons before is I tried to rush. I tried to teach them everything at once, and people would get overwhelmed and they wouldn't come back, and I didn't know why. And I was like, why don't I have more piano students? Why am I so unsuccessful? It was because I wasn't meeting the students where they were at. I was rushing them. I was trying to throw a bunch of complicated ideas and concepts at them when they weren't ready. That's one of the reasons why Stephanie got so turned off to music, my ex, because I wanted to teach her, the entertainer, and she barely knew the piano, and she was doing great at it, but I was by being such a perfectionistic. I was, just do it this way, and you're missing this note here. It's okay, you can do this. And then it felt so much pressure for her to get it perfect, right? She gave up altogether, and she never let me teach her piano lessons again. And if I knew then what I know now, I would never do that. I just be like, that's amazing. I can't believe you figured that out so quick. And I would have given that positive reinforcement. She would have been encouraged to learn more. And rather than me being like, it's okay. Just move that finger there and that finger there, and you'll get it. You can do it. You can do it, Steph. It's too much expectation, and it's too much pressure, I've learned to back off, and that's how you're going to get interest. That's how you're going to get students that are excited to learn, excited for their next lesson. You're not throwing stuff at them and expecting them to know everything at once. You're going to take it slow and steady. Give them a lot of positive encouragement when they do something right. Give them really easy stuff that they can master really quickly. Stephanie could have been an amazing piano player if I knew how to teach, and I didn't know how. I just didn't. I thought I did, and I knew she was good from the beginning, and she had a musical ear, but because of my coercion and trying to get her to play something that sounded good to my ears, even though it sounded fine. She missed like one note, and it sounded beautiful, but I wanted her to get it perfect, and thought somehow that was necessary, but it wasn't. Anyway, on to other things. So number 4, computer in Auburn, for 100 cash, Casio CDP 120, stand and pedal, and 6-hour long lessons. This is a long story. I won't do the whole thing, but to post a long story short, met this guy named Steven over Facebook Marketplace. I'd seen one computer that I was interested in for $250. It was amazing. Had a 370 and a Ryzen 5. And I started asking about the computer. The guy got annoyed because I was asking too many questions. So I was like, oh, forget it. I'll go find someone else. I scrolled down, see this amazing kick-ass computer for $550. I wanted to replace my desktop because it's like 15 years old. It has a 128 megabyte video card. I need a 512 megabyte video card Radeon that needs to be upgraded. And I've been wanting to do it for a long, long time. But finally, like, I saw this, and normally I would have just been like, it's too much money for me. I'll pass on to the next one. I'll look for something cheaper and whatever. But I thought, you know what? Let's think creatively here. So I considered, hey, I have a keyboard selling business. Maybe he'll be open to a trade. I have some other items I might be willing to get rid of. I might be willing to let go of my Oculus Quest. I might be willing to let go of this stereo that I bought a while back that's got a kick-ass speaker and everything. And so anyway, I reached out to Steven and I said, would you be open to trades? And he said, what do you have in mind? And I said, well, I got these pianos and this speaker and this Quest and whatever. And he said, well, he said, do you teach lessons? Just out of the blue. And I was like, well, as a matter of fact, I do. I found out that he's in Grass Valley, but he's actually selling the computer for another friend that's in Auburn, who's I actually found out that they're Jehovah's Witness, and he said, do you have any biases or prejudice against Jehovah's Witness? I was like, not at all. Like, I have some good friends, Keith and Kathy West, who are Jehovah's Witness in Grass Valley, and we had some great talks, and I'm definitely, I have no problem with Jehovah's Witnesses. I think they're great people. I don't necessarily agree with the theology, but, I'm fine with the people, And so, anyhow, he asked me an interesting question. He said, would you be open to trading piano lessons for Bible lessons? That was an interesting question. I was like, you know what? That would be really amazing. It's like, as long as the computer's part of the deal, I'm open to, sure, absolutely, let's see where we can go. I love talking about the Bible with people, and the thought of getting a computer and teaching lessons is fun for me. And then learning and having lively discussions about the Bible is fun also, and I used to handle things like that, like a debate. I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't debate anymore. I'm interested in other people's perspective. I'm not going to be like, well, that's wrong because of this and this and this. I'm like, that's an interesting perspective. Why do you feel that way? And what led you to come to that conclusion? And considering the evidence, and, so we'll have an interesting discussion, I will not be converted to Jehovah's Witnesses, but I said, as long as they don't have any prior expectations that I'm going to convert, I'm happy to have a Bible study, And so I put out the offer that I just mentioned to you. I have a Casio CDP. It's a fully 8 octave, fully weighted, beautiful keyboard that I just got repaired at the repair shop for $130. Initially paid like $50 for it, and then I found the note that was missing, that was wrong. It wasn't working, and so she gave me another $20 refund. So I ended up getting $30. I paid $30 for it. So and I appreciated her giving me a refund. That was really nice. Anyway, so I ended up paying a total of $160 for it, and I'm with this $160 keyboard plus 6 piano lessons, hour-long piano lessons, and $100 cash. Maybe he didn't say yet if they were going to require the $100. I said, I'm happy to pay the $100. If they don't want the $100, that's okay too. I'm not gonna. I don't care either way. It's up to them. The offer is out there. So it's a fantastic deal. It's a 32 gig. It's a Ryzen 5. It's got what does it have? A Radeon 590, which I think is a pretty nice video card. I think it might have like an SSD hard drive, maybe 500 or maybe a terabyte, whatever. It's going to be an awesome computer. And the fact that I can get it for only $100 and plus a keyboard that I'm trying to get rid of anyway, it just kills like 2 or 3 birds with one stone. So anyway, that's about that, So number 5, West and Catcher in the Rye. Call Sunday, call Shauna to set up time. Okay, we've already agreed. She texted me today. I texted her. We're going to meet probably Tuesday at around 5 o'clock. And so the first session that we had was amazing. It was just a get to know you session. We had a really deep connection. Like, his father was a really good friend of mine, and we had some really touching conversations about it. And I think we're really building some great rapport. There wasn't any teaching going on as far as, education or English. I'm actually teaching him English, which is his most problematic area. He's also failing in history and math, but he says that he can handle those subjects. He understands them. It's just a matter that he missed some classes for this or that reason. Like, I don't know what the reasons were, but he said that, he got sick and he couldn't go to them, and he's in the process of making up the quizzes and he can do it. So the only thing that really struggles in is English, and I'm good at English. I wasn't so good in high school because I was always relying on other people to give me the answer, my dad, or just for it to be an easy answer. I didn't know how to think creatively about it. So I've gotten a lot better at English, and even though without taking any classes, just having life experience helps you with English, you know. So we're gonna. I found this great audiobook on YouTube, and we discovered that Wes is more of an audio learner than a visual. He's not good with reading. He's a little bit ADHD, has some PTSD. Reading is very troublesome, and he doesn't understand. He forgets what he reads. I had that same problem when I was his age. I could read the same freaking sentence like 10 times. I'd be more lost the 10th time than I read it than the first time. You know, it's like crazy. Like, but you just, when you hear it, someone speaking it, and I found this audiobook where it just sounded so natural. It almost felt like it wasn't like a book. It was like this guy's telling about his experience with his mom and his dad, and his feeling, like with his relationship with his sister, and how things are going in this house. And like, I only listened to like 5 minutes, and I was hooked. So that's my goal. Oh, that reminds me, I got to do that. So that's 32. 32. Listen to Catcher in Rye on YouTube. Okay. It's about a 6-hour book. I looked at the audio stream is about 6 hours. So, you know, I may have some time, maybe like 3 hours. I don't necessarily have to read the whole thing or listen to the whole thing before I meet with Wes, but I'd like to get through at least half of it before we meet for our first, like, actually teaching lesson, you know. So I was talking to Pi, the AI assistant. I have all sorts of amazing ideas for teaching note cards and like phrases, like, and we can have note cards and with like the name of the character, and on the back we can have different types of colors, like a certain color for quotes, memorable quotes, another color for personality characteristics, or events that change the shape of the person's evolution, or encounters, like interesting encounters, like how it changes people in the book. And so I'm finding a way to divide it in. And when kids are in class and they're just hearing a monotone person, a teacher teaching about something, and they don't have a way to organize the information, it's just going to go in all there is blah. And that's what Wes said. This English teacher, he's monotone. He can't follow it. He doesn't know what's going on. So I'm going to make it exciting for him. I'm going to help him relate to the character. We're going to make up maybe even musical, like numbers, a musical phrase for various characters to like describe something like kind of like embodies who they are. And I think it'll be a really fun process. I'm going to learn a lot. I'll use Pi a lot to give me ideas. I'll brainstorm with her to come up with ideas and slogans and maybe I can work with Wes, and he'll rise to the occasion. I'm really excited. I know he's really like not really excited to learn. It's a drag for him. He doesn't like it. But I think it's because it's so hard for him and he doesn't have a good teacher. So I'm hoping that I can be that for him. So I will put everything into my power to make him excited about learning, and by doing that, man, it's going to really pump up my excitement for learning, because now I'll learn some skills and tools to help me remember stuff better and be able to actually grasp all the information and retain it like really, really well in my mind. So that's 5. 6, piano lessons with Sonia. Call or text Monday. Teaching Sonia piano. Oh, wait, that's the same thing. Oh, that's the same thing. Okay, so teaching piano lesson with Sonia. Call and text Monday. Teaching Sonia. Okay, so we have a duplicate here. So you're not going to do this perfectly all the time. So it's a trial and error. See, it's trial and error. If you have something and you notice that something is duplicated, you simply just copy. You work with yourself. So we don't need that one. So where's 7? What's 7? Oh, taxes. Again, I told you about the taxes. I'm working on that. I'll finish that tomorrow. Yard work for Mark. Call something. Yeah, Mark is this great guy. I do garden work in his house, in his yard. His dog. I forget the name. He has a dog that's what's the name of it? It's the same kind of breed as our dog. Suki is a. What is she? A Kelpie. Yeah, that's it. I got it. The words are coming to me like they wouldn't come to me before. She's a Kelpie, and she came from the same litter as what was the name? I think it started with a J. Suki and J. I can't remember right now. Maybe it'll come to me later. Anyway, so they came from the same litter. They were separated, and somehow I don't know how Mom knew, but she met Mark at the dog park, and somehow like they exchanged stories, and they realized that their dog came from the same litter. So they were brother and sister. Or yeah, I think his dog was a male. Our Suki is a female. Anyway, so Suki loves to see her sister at the dog park. So that's where my mom met Mark, and they talked about it. And, my dad and my mom both have met Mark, and they told me that Mark was looking for someone to help him in the garden because he's older, and he has a problem with his knee, I think, and he has some issues with his physical nature. He can do some basic light work, but he needed to have holes dug and trees planted and all sorts of work done. And so I've been helping him for the past several months, and it's been really, really fun. He was paying me $25 an hour before, but then he realized it was too much, so he's paying me $20 an hour, which is still fine. And I usually work 4 to 5 hours a day. I might work for him once every week or two. I've been real busy lately, so I wasn't able to help him last week, but I'm hoping that maybe this week's gonna be super busy, but maybe the week after that I can help him again. And he can be a hard ass sometimes if you don't know what you're doing and you kind of ask dumb questions, which I've learned the hard way. he kind of snaps at you if you ask a dumb question. That's okay. I'm learning, and I'm not like upset with it. I'm not. It doesn't offend me. I'm not taking it personally. But anyway, I've helped him to weed eat. I've helped him to to dig holes. I've done a lot of cleaning up around like the trees, and I'll take my hands, I'll go in the dirt, and I'll like pull out all the weeds, or I use the weed eater. And yeah, he's given me some lemons to take home and stuff like that. He's really cool. He gives produce to people in need. He has a lot of plans for growing a lot of things. He's already growing a lot of things, but he wants to grow even more and help people in the community that are hungry or that, need food, or just neighbors that would like some fresh fruit or whatever, or vegetables. So really cool working with Mark. So, 9, open mic, 6 p.m. at TJ's Roadhouse, Nevada City. Work on songs with Sarah, record numbers if time. So I sent Sarah a message. I did some researching. Like normally in my past life, when I was a caterpillar, before I'm turning into a butterfly now, but before in my past life when I was a caterpillar, I would wistfully think, oh, that'd be so cool if we could do an open mic. Me and Sarah, I've always wanted to do that. And I just think about it and wonder if it could happen, and just pray and think maybe one will happen one day. And I'd never fucking do anything about it. And it just, forget it, just forget it. So I just, I just thought, hey, I want to do open mic with a sister, so I'm going to make positive actions. So I started calling up people. I asked this guy, I heard from somebody, there was a guy on Facebook that did a lot of open mics. I texted him. I said, do you know of any, open mics between this time and this time? He mentioned like 3 or 4 times during the week, whereas normally I didn't think there were any, because I didn't even know there were open mics every day. But there practically are open mics like at least 3 or 4 days a week, between Grass Valley and Nevada City. And I just went to my first open mic over at Center for the Arts, which was a lot of fun. I took my friend Daniel. We had a blast. And I'm like, oh, next Wednesday, next month on Wednesday, it's on. I'm doing my first open mic at Center for the Arts. It'll be so fun. I had been doing them at Banana Books for like every Tuesday for a while. I did that. I probably did maybe like 8 or 9 open mics at Banana Books, and I loved it. I had so much fun. Very small group, very small, very intimate group. It was fun. Center for the Arts is a little bit step higher. I'm just starting, just baby steps. Just there's usually about maybe 25, 30 people that show up, sometimes 40. So it's a little step higher, and it's a step on the way towards greatness. And I'm not afraid to dream great, and I'm not going to stop dreaming great and thinking that I can be great. And I don't think there's anything conceited about thinking you can be great. I don't think it's wrong to think you can be great. Like, if you don't think you can be great, then you're going to just be content with being normal and being a failure and not doing anything with your life. I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm sick of it. 48 years old. I'm ready to freaking grow up. Come on, son. What's up? Come on, man. What's going on, bro? What's G? Okay. So anyway, I did that, and then I bought a freaking mixer. I got a mixer. See, I just got these sweet ass mixer these monitors from Mackie, and I love the monitors. So I found this mixer called the Pro FX V10 or V10 something 3 Pro FX or something. It's a 10 channel mixer. It has tons of audio effects for line in mics and instruments. And my goal, like, at first I was going to get the 6. I'm like, you know what? And I'm dreaming big again. I'm dreaming big. I'm thinking, what if I could have a jam session somewhere and have, like, literally, like, 6 people, 7 people, 8 people just plug in instruments from anywhere and just, like, jam with me, just wherever. Or, like, if I was to orchestrate something where that could happen, normally I would never think that big, but now I'm dreaming big now. Like, it could happen. And what if, like, my whole family I was able to influence my family and have enough influence with my family to convince, Sarah to plug in with the guitar, Carrie to plug in with the guitar, my dad to plug in with the guitar, Nathan to plug in with the mic, Michael to plug in with a mic, my dad to plug in with mic, and like making, like, like the Moyer Von Trapp family. Like, why couldn't I? Before I would dream that's impossible, that I can't get my family to do what I want them to do, but I can dream it, and I can orchestrate it, and eventually it will happen, and I can invite people into that experience. And I think before, the reason why it didn't happen is because, like, I think I'd have an idea and I'd force it on people. I want it so bad. And I knew it was a beautiful idea, but the way I was trying to make it happen was, like, it felt forced and no one wanted to participate. They wanted to distance themselves from me, and I don't freaking blame them, because they came across as, intense and, freaking just, not allowing them the freedom to make the choice of whether they wanted to do it or not. It was more like, oh, come on, you got to do this. It'll be so awesome, And that's me speaking. That's not me honoring their free will. That's not me honoring their decision or inviting them to try something new. And that's not me recognizing their probably, most likely tentative feeling about doing something like that's unusual and out of the ordinary. But if I can do it in a slow and gradual way, I know Sarah will do it. So I can do it with Sarah, and maybe, like, at our next reunion or our next meeting, I'll bring the mixer with me. I can bring some instruments, my guitar, and maybe I'll get, like, another guitar that has, a audio cord, an electric acoustic, hook it in, and I can have Carrie or Sarah or one of the nephews. Like, I would love to see all the kids. And I think Ramona, Miles, Caleb, they're also musical, Levi, E-Boy, all of them. And see, like, a huge, like, it's such a dream. Oh my God. I can see it in my head now. Like, all my nieces and nephews, like, the ones that want to participate, like, in this giant chorus of, like, a song that I've written, or a song that they want us to learn together, and we can all learn it together as a family, a enormous Moyer, Watson, Lang family. And it could be a dream. It could be beautiful. Like, life could be so beautiful. And I can see that image up there. I could see it. Like, I can touch it almost. Like, and it's been there, like, my whole life. But I knew it was there, but I knew that somehow, like, I didn't know how to get there. But now I'm just putting the seeds. I'm planting seeds. I'm taking it step by step. And I'm dreaming it into reality. And that's the only way you can accomplish your dreams. You have to dream it before you can do it. You can't do something if you can't dream it first. You see what I'm saying? And if you can't write your dreams down, then the dream will fade and you'll forget about it. So it's very simple. If you have an idea, a dream, a goal, write it down on paper, figure out in your mind what's the first step, the very, very first, even if it's the simplest thing, even if it's just as simple as, like, going to the store and buying, who knows, a board like this. That could be the first thing. And for me, that was it. I'm tired of, like, being so disorganized. I am going to fucking organize my life. I'm going to go get a freaking vision board. So I went to Staples, paid like $7, and I got some duct taped it up to my wall. And I said, I am going to organize my life and dream myself into a better life. I'm going to dream and push and imagine myself into this life, and it will occur. And I just knew it could happen. So it's been rocky, but I think I've crossed the toughest spot, and the toughest spot is just motivating yourself to do it and thinking that it's possible. And once you think it's possible and that you can do it, you take that very, very, very first step, and you see that it's possible that you did that very first step, and you realize, oh my God, holy crap, I actually did it. I actually accomplished something. Maybe I can think of the next step. And then maybe I can think of that step and contemplate what the next step should be. And if it's really simple like this one, maybe I can do that one too. And then maybe I can go step by tiny step. And pretty soon, the tiny steps are going to get bigger. And your stride's going to get longer. And pretty soon, you're going to be doing full strides. And you're going to be sprinting towards your goal instead of crawling on your hands and knees and sucking on the dirt and rolling over and doing somersaults on the ground. You know what I'm saying? That was my life, son. That was my freaking life. My whole freaking life. You know, I have moments of clarity, but the majority of my mind was just so full of religious baggage and sin and depravity and worrying about whether I was going to go to heaven or hell. It was insane. I couldn't think of anything else. I was on a hamster wheel of insane thoughts that were just going nowhere. My dad once told me, what did he say? He said, it was very, very poignant, you're so focused on heaven that you're missing out on earth, And so I was always taught that if you don't focus on heaven, then you'll miss out on earth and heaven. But I'm not sure if that's the case. Because if you're all wrapped up in heaven and the eternity and all these ideas, whatever, can you even focus on what you're doing day to day? I mean, can you really think about your daily tasks when you're like always focused on the end goal? You're thinking about that moment that you're finally in heaven and you can do whatever you want. You can be the person that you've always wanted to be. Well, what if you could be the person you always wanted to be right freaking now? Right now. Right this minute. You didn't have to wait. You didn't have to hope that God would somehow transform you into the person you always wanted to be. And be like, oh God, please change me. Why not be like, hey, why don't I take a step of ultimate will in my life and control my life the way I want it to go? And you direct that life however you want it to go. And if you're focused on good things, and you're focused on love, and you're focused on beauty, and creating value for others, and meaning for others, and enjoying other people's friendship and fellowship, which I think most people want anyway, you will achieve your goal. You will achieve it. You're not gonna create a lot of friends. You're not gonna create a lot of enemies going around, being kind to people. Being kind to people and not trying to maybe trying to demean their way of thinking or trying to get them to think like you or say, oh, you're wrong in this area, and this is why, this is why you're wrong, and this is why I'm right, and you need to believe like me, step in line, whatever. That's kind of the way I used to think about the world, and it was very flawed, and I'm not necessarily blaming the church. I don't know if it's the church's fault. It may be my fault, But I think there may be a lot of people that are spiritual or religious that think the way that I thought, and that I still kind of, I still have these inklings in the past of the way I used to think, but it's becoming like a distant thought almost now. Like I'm moving into a new area in my life, and some might call it a midlife crisis for a 48-year-old who's never been, physically, as far as like my appearance, really expressive in the way I exude myself. Or I demonstrate myself to others, to dye his hair purple. What's going to happen though? The world might end if Chris Moyer dyes his hair purple. My world might end is what I might have thought, 10, 15 years ago. But I'm not afraid of anything anymore. I'm not letting fear dictate what I do in my life anymore. I choose not to. I'm not going to let the fear of hell. I'm not going to let the fear of judgment. I'm not going to let the fear of damnation. Or I'm not going to let the fear of other people's opinions of me or their thoughts about me or what I think God wants me to do or anything like that affect what I want to do. I have to be free to be free. And the only way I can do that is to free my mind and go with what's going on in here. It's okay to not die to yourself. It's okay to love who you are and to love your passions and to love your desires and to find balance in that and to navigate the difficult terrain of, how do I express this how do I express this need? How do I fulfill this need in a healthy and constructive way without it becoming, destructive or obsessive or, damaging to others or myself? And it's a tough road to journey. It's tough. It's not going to happen overnight. It doesn't happen just by wishful thinking. It's something that takes a long process, and not everyone is willing to do it. And some people just are happy with just going with the way their mind works and not questioning their thoughts and not questioning the way they think and just kind of like doing what they've always done and being okay with the status quo. That's not me. I'm tired of the status quo, and I'm ready to break free. So this is me now. This is me. I'm the butterfly. This is me. Anyhow, where are we at? Open mic. So that's what we're gonna do on Thursday, and I'm gonna see if mom and dad would be willing to record, or someone would record the video, and then when I record it, I'm going to post it on YouTube, and I'm gonna maybe like have Sarah speak with the characters from her voice. She and her husband Michael and some friends of ours made an awesome movie, a movie mystery, and a movie murder mystery. Sorry, murder mystery, and that video's on YouTube. And I'm in the open mic. I'm going to mention the movie, and I'm going to ask Sarah if she would maybe do a line from her. She has a really interesting accent. She kind of talks like, no, how does she talk? You don't think I have to do that? No, I can't do it like she does, but she has a really cool accent. And I love accents. I really love them. So I haven't quite got her accent down. I haven't listened to the movie enough times, what I'm saying. But I will ask her if she'd be willing to demonstrate a short portion of maybe either a line for her movie, or maybe explain what the movie is about in the accent of the character that she's playing. You understand? So that would be fun. I mean, we can have a little bit of banter back and forth, but me talking to her and her talking to me and about the movie, and then we can do some jamming, and she can sing harmonies to my song. And I plan on doing actually 3 numbers. We're going to do probably a really common one that's very popular, which is Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra. And then there's another one I really like by Michael Bublé, and I really would like to sing it with her. It's called And Then I Went and Sped It Out by Saying Something Stupid Like I Love You. I love that song. So great. So anyway, we're going to do that. And then there's another song that I have actually recorded on YouTube, but it's not gotten a lot of views. Not very, not many people know it's out there. Because I think it's because I just did it a cappella, and there wasn't much production value to it. I just kind of stood in front of the mic and did it. But it's called From Your Perspective. I'll just give you the first line. Here's the chorus. From your perspective, rain can be shine from your perspective. Vinegar can be turned into wine. There's so much that you will find when you realize it's all in your mind. When you know this, you will be bright. Whether you think you can't or can, you're always right. You can make your cloudy day sunny. You can take your gloom and make it funny. As you start each brand new day, you can find a brand new way to take your dark skies and turn them into blue. 'Cause it all depends on you. So that's how the chorus goes. And it's one of my favorite songs that I've written. I love it. But, it'll be fun to sing with Sarah with some harmonies. Hold on. Sorry, I have bad congestion sometimes. It's probably from smoking, It's probably from smoking. I do smoke a lot. And that's also on my list. See there, 24? Use QuitSure to stop smoking. If you haven't heard of QuitSure, it's an amazing app. Everyone that uses it swears by it. The people do, like, it changes the way you think about smoking altogether. Like, people said that after like a week, they just don't have a craving anymore. It changes literally your mindset, your whole psychology around smoking and why you need smoking in the first place. And honestly, in the last week, since I didn't have sleep for one night, and I spent, with me, sometimes I've realized that when I go 2 nights without sleep, sometimes that's the best thing I can ever do. Like, it can be the best thing I've ever done in my life. And this has so much pressure from everyone saying, oh, you have to get sleep every night, just sleep. And there's so much focus on sleep. And sometimes it takes 2 nights of being awake to start actually really starting to think about your life and starting to question about your beliefs and your limitations and your fears and why you can't accomplish what you want to accomplish. And sometimes you have to stay up a little bit longer than, your bedtime to figure that shit out. Sometimes figuring your life out takes deliberation and really hard intellectual work. And it's not just going to happen if you fall into a routine of sleeping 8 hours every night, and you're taking meds that dull your senses and dull your imagination. Oh, forget it. I can use the meds as I choose. When I'm ready to sleep, I will take the Seroquel and, the lithium and the Depakote, and I will have a deep sleep. But if I don't want to sleep and I want to stay up, then I'm going to fucking do it. And I don't fucking care what you tell me. I don't care. You can say all you want about whatever research you want to quote. But I know in my heart that I like to have control over my sleep schedule. And if I want to sleep, I will choose to sleep. And if I choose to stay up, that is my freaking choice. I am 48. I don't need a psychologist. I don't need a mother. I don't need anyone saying, you need to get to sleep. You need to get some sleep. No. I can dictate my own self. It's what I've been wanting for my whole life, because of all the pressure to sleep and the pressure to conform to normal sleep schedule. I was in a tizzy, I when I couldn't sleep, I'd freak out, I'd literally go to hell. I felt like I was in hell in my mind when I couldn't sleep, because I thought that like Satan was punishing me, or that I was going to go to hell, or something, that I had committed the unpardonable sin. And there was a day I didn't sleep for 10 days. And believe me, every night I literally tossed and turned, and I was in hell all night. I was in hell. Because why? Why? Because I was freaked out that if I didn't sleep, they'd get even worse. And everyone around me would get worried, and they'd say I need to sleep and all this stuff. And when I finally just said, fuck it. One time I remember seriously in my mind, I said, fuck it. I couldn't sleep for a while. I was like, fuck it. I'll just stay up as long as I want. I'll stay up until I finally fall asleep, and I'm not going to worry about going crazy. I'm not going to worry about becoming a monster. I'm just going to test myself. I know who I am. I don't care if I stay up for one whole freaking month. I'm not going to commit some horrible crime. I'm not going to lose my mind. I know who I am. I'm confident that I'm a good person, because I questioned myself for a long time, I questioned whether I was a monster or whether I was a real person. I with all the people talking this shit about me and that shit about me, and psychologists and hospital stays and forced injections and all of the, the straps over me and all that stuff, I questioned whether I was a good person or not, whether I had a good heart. And just by questioning it, like, it threw me into a tizzy. But if you believe you have a good heart, if you trust in your soul that your heart is good, then you will find ways of expressing that goodness. You will. Every day. You'll find ways. You'll be creative about it. But if you believe in your heart that you're evil, or that you're not sure if you're good or bad, you will be tossed and turned like the wildest ocean waves. You will second guess every move that you make. Oh, am I evil? Did I commit the unpardonable sin? Is God going to forgive me? Am I going to go to hell forever? Don't punish yourself anymore. Don't punish yourself. Believe in your heart that you're good. But don't let it stop there. Believe in your heart and then act as if you are good. Say kind things to people that are in your power every day. You can walk up to someone and you have the power to say a word that kills, or a word that creates, a word that creates opportunity, or a word that destroys. That power is in your tongue. Every person that you speak, every moment of every nanosecond of the day. That power exists. It's infinite power. It is such power. People don't realize the power they have for good or ill. It's incredible. You can turn a person's security into hell with an evil glare, or a thought, or a word, or a threat. Or you can give them a sense of security and connection and peace and love for you by inviting them to be friends, by inviting them into your energy and being like curious about them, not judgmental, not condemning, not looking down on or trying to coerce or change or anything like that. Just being curious. That's what creates connection. So anyway, we talked about the recordings, so I'm going to try and do some recordings with her if we have the time. So what are we at? 10. 10 is 10. Where is he? I think, is that 10? 11? Oh yeah. There's 9. I think I have 10 up here. I have 10. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not sure where 10 went, but so I think we're at Isaac's therapy ebook. I already talked about audio Isaac's therapy. I'm going to do that again. Piano fantasies. All that was what we already talked about. That 12 Taco Bell schedule. I just wrote that down just to remind myself. Keep Taco Bell in your mind. Don't, because with all this stuff, I don't want to forget about work. I don't want to forget that I have a work schedule. And sometimes this would happen to me. I would get so obsessed with my ideas and thoughts that I'd totally forget about work, or I'd forget about this responsibility or that responsibility. And then I'd be off on a tangent and I'd be wild. And pretty soon I'd be in the hospital and everything would just fall to shit. And I'd have to start out ground zero again. Every freaking time I got out of the hospital, it was ground zero when I got out. And I'd have to build everything up from scratch. Any plans that I had were dashed. And so I had to write that down. I had to write that down for myself. Taco Bell schedule. That reminds me every time I see that, yes, you have a job. Keep that in your mind. Write it down. Write your schedule down on your calendar. Every week now, I write my schedule down. I have two colors on my schedule over there. You can't see it very well, but I have pink and blue. I believe one is for work activities and one is for other activities. So I have one for piano lessons or work with Mark or a doctor's appointment or work schedule or an open mic that I planned. This is the synthesis. This is the creative area. This is the brainstorming area, and this is where it comes onto my actual schedule. This is where the schedule is set in stone right here on that calendar. So, Taco Bell. Okay. 13. 13 is, where's 13? 13. It could be, yeah. Oh, here it is. Exercise. I already talked about that. So we already talked about the exercise with the elliptical, which is right there, which I plan on using. I'd like to do it at least, if I could start every day with just even 5 minutes, just 5 minutes on the elliptical, that would be a start. So maybe I'll start doing that. That needs to be, I do want to have exercise in my life. I want to start incorporating it. I've been very, very, in my head and not really in tune with my body. And I don't exercise much. And so I'd really like to start using this and be literally religious about it, every morning, hey, let's jump on this thing for 5 minutes, put on some tunes, whatever. It's 5 minutes. It's not going to kill me to get on this thing it's fun. I like ellipticals. I can work on this for 5 minutes. I'm not missing out on anything. So yeah, that's going to be okay. So let's do that for tomorrow. I want to start. First thing I do when I get out of bed, elliptical for 5 minutes. So I'm going to write. All right. So this is my first activity of the day for tomorrow. So Monday. So tomorrow is Monday. I'll put Monday. First thing. Elliptical, 5 minutes. All right. And if I feel like doing it longer, I might, but honestly, I'm telling you right now, my thought process, I wrote that in purple. That was supposed to be in black. Okay. Let me write that again. We have to do the color has to be right. I don't want to write in the wrong color because I want to be very organized here. So Monday, number 1, elliptical, 5 minutes. All right. So that's great. So, and I'll tell you my thought process as I was writing that down. I was telling myself, even while I was writing this, I was like, oh, that little voice is like, oh, you're not really going to do it. You're not going to commit. It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it. You're saying you're going to do it, but it's never going to happen. You're never going to be religious about it. It's a bunch of words. But now, something about writing that down, now that I can see that and I've committed that and I've actually recorded on a video, the first thing I'm going to think of when I wake up is elliptical. Now, am I going to be true? Am I going to follow through, or am I going to just slough it off and say, oh, I'm not going to do that today? That'd be the worst thing I could do. If you're going to plan on doing something and you set your intention to do it, the next day you better freaking do it. Because if you don't, it's going to be the most biggest self-sabotage you could ever do. That's the whole point of the vision board. What's the point of doing a vision board and making goals for yourself in little tiny steps if you can't even do the tiny step? Create a tiny step for yourself that you enjoy doing. There's no reason why I wouldn't do that. I'll wake up. The only thing I can think of is that I wake up and, I get a call or something happens, and that's different. But When I wake up, I want to do that the first thing. So I might even do a video of it, and post that at some point. I might do a quick video. I might include it on YouTube. I might not. I don't know. So anyway, that's the first thing. I want to start doing that every day, or at least on the days that I say I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So what do we got? What's up? Next, fixed roll on RD570 and Yamaha P90. Eventually the Fusion HD. Okay, so those are 3 keyboards that I bought. The 570 is a beautiful digital keyboard that I bought for, he asked for 60, I got him down to 30. I bought it together with the P90. I bought both of them for $50. The P90 is very much like, it's a fully weighted 8-octave keyboard. It had some keys that were popping up. The action was bad. And the Roland RD570 had like 2 or 3 keys that you press them and they wouldn't come up. And my dad and I did a little bit of research on YouTube, and it's actually not super difficult to fix the keys. And I've been going to a repair guy and having him fix it for $100, $150. And hey, I was like, that's normally how I would think. I have to have someone else do it because I don't know how to do anything. I can't help myself. Please help me fix my keyboard for me. I can't do it. No, fuck that. No, I can do shit. But it starts with believing that you can do it. You have to believe you can do it before it's possible. So, as I was watching the video, I was like, hey, I could follow this. It would be, I'd have to, there's some careful steps. You have to be organized. You have to take careful attention to what parts you're taking apart and what steps you're doing, and maybe write down some notes, take some pictures, have some letters, have some like note cards for various piles of screws and where they go. But if I'm very careful about it, and I learn to follow a step-by-step action, I can do it. I can do this on my own. I don't have time to do it right now, but that's on my list. And that will be something that I will talk about. And when I do that, I'm actually going to film it. So that'll be something you guys can look forward to. If and when I decide to fix the Roland, I'm going to have a film, and it may not go perfectly. I may not get everything perfect, but I'm going to see it through, and I'll document it. And I'll post it here on YouTube. And I'm just gonna go ahead, and I don't know how long the videos are on TikTok, but I'm just gonna start documenting my life on YouTube, and that way people can come on this journey with me. If you want to come on this journey with me and see me as I evolve from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and learn how you can do the same, because like if I can do it, anyone can do it. I mean, I'm telling you, like 48 years, 50 hospitalizations, countless hospitalizations, jail time. Psych wards, therapy groups, small groups, men's groups, just the whole gamut, and just feeling oppressed by the world, feeling like I had to do everything the world said and had to listen to everything that my authorities said and fall and suck in line, to the point where I've come to like a synthesis where I can take advice and I can also negotiate. That's the difference. When you're negotiating, you're not coming from a place of defense, you're coming from a place of power and confidence. When you can negotiate with someone and you can say, hey, you know what? I understand where you're coming from. I see your perspective. Yes, meds are important. It is important to get sleep. It is. I agree. But at the same time, there are some aspects about my personality that maybe you don't understand. And let me share some things with you. For me, when I sleep every single night and I take the meds every single night, for a period of a long time, I can fall into a spiritual, emotional stupor where I'm not thinking, I'm not living, I'm just doing what's required of me day to day. I'm not growing, I'm not challenging myself. I can't live like that anymore. So I will use the meds when I need them, when I'm ready to sleep, and when I want to stay up all night and think or ponder or plan or create. That is my prerogative, and I will do that regardless of your perspective. So that, we have to come to the same page. You have to understand where I'm coming from. That's what I'm saying. You negotiate with them, right? You can stand up for yourself. You can vouch for yourself. You don't have to just do everything they want you to do. You can think for yourself and use the meds for what they're good for. But if you're manic, if you're bipolar, and you enjoy the energy that you get when you don't take the meds for a night, or when you can be up one night thinking or creating music or doing anything creative or just feeling amazing, then be okay with that and be like, as long as you understand that you have control, if you can have control over that and say to yourself, listen, I can do it two nights in a row. I know myself. I know my limitations. I don't want to go 3 days because that's a little bit too much without sleep. I want to get some good sleep. I'll take some meds. And if you have the ability, sleep in real nice, have a wonderful sleep, have great dreams, and then wake up refreshed the next day. But don't feel like a monster. Don't feel like a monster. If you happen to, stay up one night and you have some wild thoughts. Control your thoughts, learn to control your thoughts, learn to channel that energy that you've got into something productive, right? Create something new. Organize something, plan something, and then follow through with it. It's a step-by-step procedure. It won't happen overnight, but if you make steps towards it, it will happen. And if you are bipolar, schizophrenic, ADHD, post-traumatic stress disorder, whatever, all those things, I believe the answer to all those things are the same. They are step by step. They are creating. Once you start creating your reality, then you can leave the old reality that you were in. You can remove yourself from the past. You can escape the prison of your past in your mind. But it only happens when you can step out of the cycle of obsession and constant reflection on the past. You can't move forward as long as you're stuck in that loop. It's okay to reflect on the past and to learn from the past, but then we have to move forward and take our what we've learned from the past into the future and apply our knowledge and creativity and whole spirit and soul into whatever endeavor we want to undertake, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be creative. It could be athletic. It could be anything, but you have to do something. You have to make a plan and then follow through, and that itself will create purpose for you. And when you have purpose, that's when passion starts. You can't have passion without purpose, right? If you have passion without purpose, it's directionless. There's no direction to it. It's just wild emotion. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't create anything. It doesn't build anything. It doesn't grow. It doesn't inspire. It doesn't, it doesn't move mountains. It just goes in circles, If you're living for passion, if you're living for sex or drugs or whatever it is that you're living for, if that's what you're living for, then you got no direction. You have to have a deeper purpose. So you find the deep purpose of something that resonates with your soul deep down. And if you find and look deep down into who you really are, you will discover some goal or dream that you have that's not revolved around the meaning of immediate sensual and physical and spiritual needs. Sexual needs. You'll find something bigger that transcends that desire, and you can still enjoy those desires, but not live for them. Do you understand? It's okay to enjoy those desires, but don't live for them. If you live for them, you'll be consumed by them, and you will live for them, and you won't have any purpose. You'll be directionless, and you will live for that pleasure. Do you understand? Pleasure is not bad. It's not bad to desire sex. It's not bad to, I think especially with drugs, with drugs, you want that high. You want that high, that feeling of the feeling that it gives you. But you got to get away from that and get high on the attainment of a goal. Live for those goals and then let that wean you off the drugs. Find your goal, find your hope in creating real lasting change for you and for other people in a positive way. And that will fill you more than any drug will. Fentanyl, cocaine, marijuana, even cigarettes, I'm struggling with cigarettes. I know it's a temptation, and I probably will smoke for a while longer. But at some point, I think I will be ready to quit. I'm not ready to quit yet. But when I'm ready to quit and use Quit Sure, I really want to go through with it, So anyway. So what's the next thing? I'll do that. And the Fusion. So the Fusion actually has a volume. The Fusion HD is an Alesis keyboard that I bought, and that has a volume knob that's not working right. It when you adjust it, like the different sounds, like sometimes the sound comes through clear, but sometimes it gets sketchy and it doesn't come through clear. And like, there's something wrong with the volume knob. I don't know if there's a tutorial on how to fix that. If I can't come across, someone that shows you how to do that on the internet, then I probably will take that into the repair guy, because, I'm not going to experiment with it if I don't know how to do it. So if I can watch someone and or talk to someone that knows how to do it. Maybe I can do it myself, but if I don't have a visual of something to look at, I'm not going to undertake that. I'll just trust the repairman with that one. So number 15 is dye my hair purple, and we've already talked about that. So the only question is, will I use bleach or will I not use bleach? And I was afraid that if I didn't use bleach and put purple in my hair, it would be like brown and maybe like a little hint of purple on the top. That's not what I want. I want to go crazy purple, you know? So I think I'm going to go bleach. I'm going to go bleach, and I'm going to go like a really pretty, a really bright purple, you know? So if it doesn't look good with my complexion or whatever, I'll write it out. I'll write it out for as long as the dye's in there. And then when it's out, maybe I'll try another color that does work better. But I think I'll love purple, at least for this time. I'm gonna go for purple. I'm gonna commit to it. I'm gonna go for purple. So 16, less stereo on Facebook and Craigslist. I got a really nice stereo tape because that's not working, but I could probably get $80 for it on CL or Facebook. And so I need to do that too. I was going to do that today, but I didn't have time. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. And so 17, pay 180 for fixed cord or offer 50 for, that's a quick story. The guy that I took it to didn't do the job he was supposed to do. They charged me like $160 for it. I said, forget it. I'm not paying this for this keyboard. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. The keys aren't working. The action's not working. So, either he gives me, he fixes it. I'll throw in an extra $20 for him to relook at the keyboard and fix it. Or, I don't know. Either you can take it and pay me a little bit of money for it, or maybe I can give you like $50 for it as it is, but I'm not going to pay that full price. So I'm learning to stand up for myself and not let people just get away with shit, So 18, sell Yamaha DGX on Facebook for $350 and eBay for that's this keyboard here. This is the one that I've had for a long time, and it's been my bread and butter. But now that I got my new one, which is a DGX 650, I bought it for what was it? $240. Amazing keyboard. All that was wrong with it was this thing here. See, I had to cut this part off. I had to cut this part off because there was a thing in the bottom key and the top key weren't cut. There was no action. The action wasn't working because there was some warping going on in the paint here. The paint or the wood paneling or whatever. And so I was, I didn't know if it was going to work. But I actually went home and I took a straight edge. I just cut along here. I pulled out the warp, and now, bam, the bottom and the top work fine. So that's awesome. So I got a real good discount. This is a beautiful board. It takes a USB card. You can a USB flash drive. You can record unlimited songs onto the USB flash drive. And I'm looking forward to some really amazing compositions creating on this keyboard. So that's the keyboard situation. 17, pay off debt to Carrie and Sarah, pay rent, car payment, audio insurance, cell phone. That's self-explanatory. Right now I think I owe my sister Carrie, I want to say it's either $250 or $350. And I owe Sarah, like, I think $850 or something. So, I borrowed some money from Sarah to buy a keyboard, and then I need to borrow some money from Carrie to pay off a debt that I had. So I owe money. I'm trying to pay off a little bit each month. I'm paying for $200 for rent for every month, and then a $100 car payment that I owe my parents. I'm actually more in debt than that with my parents, but I think they're letting me off easy because I got in that, my car had this problem with the water pump and the thermostat, and it was overheating, and it cost like $1,400 to fix. Or 15 or 16, maybe 17. I don't know. It was a lot of money. And hold on a second. So anyway, my dad helped me out because I didn't have the money for it, and so and then I just paid him back like $1,000 out of my Target 401k money that I got. So pretty much all my 401k went to that. But after all my expenses, I think there was a few months there that I wasn't paying car payments, and I think I may have missed like maybe a month of rent or something. But I think they're forgiving that debt, and we're starting fresh in April. So I really want to get them the $300 in April for rent, car payment and rent, and then I have Allstate with auto insurance, my cell phone, and I just for between those two it's about $120. I just upgraded my cell phone plan to a 30 gigabyte mobile data because the 20 gigabyte wasn't enough. So figure out GarageBand, FL Studio Mobile, how to record line in. So this is a big one. I've been trying to figure this out forever. I want to know how to go either directly from my phone into GarageBand, and I'm not sure that there's a way to do it. I mean, people say there is, but there's no option for changing your audio input. You can't change from the internal microphone to an external line. But then I found this place on where is it? Headset Buddy. I'm waiting for an email from them. They said that they have this adapter where you can plug in a lightning jack into the lightning jack, or is it the 1/4-inch panel? I think it's the lightning jack, and then you can plug in your keyboard into that, or is it using a camera adapter? I can't remember, but I sent them a long email, and it seemed like they had something that might work. But then they said something funny. They said it only works with iPhone 12, so I was like, oh shoot, because I have an iPhone 6s. So, but I'm hoping that it works with iPhone 6s. Because I want to have all my recording devices. I'm going to use the iPad here, iPad Pro, second gen, and I'm going to use my MacBook Pro over here with the Casio, and then where the Roland and the ES6 motif are. This is Roland. I mean Alesis. That's where my iPhone 6s is going to go. And the mixer is going to go here, the 10-channel mixer. Right now I have this cheap attaining that I got, which is pretty cool. I got it for like, I don't know, $16, $17. Really cool little interface mixer / USB device, audio recording device, or audio device. It's cool, but I want to get the mixer and the bigger mixer. So what's the next thing? I'll maybe get camera adapter, because I might need a camera adapter to the iPhone 6, and that might be all I need, because I bought one from another guy, but I think it was faulty because it was a generic one, and I don't think the generic ones work well. So if you're an Apple person and you want to get something for music, for recording, I would say definitely just go with genuine Apple product. Make sure it's genuine. Don't ever get a faulty Apple product, or a generic one, because you don't know if it's compatible with your device. The Apple ones are made to last longer and to work effectively. You might save a few bucks for a generic version, but I found that out the hard way. Just splurge a few more bucks and get the real thing. Make dinner, chicken casserole for family. So that's gonna happen. I told my mom I want to start making regular dinners. It's something I always kind of wanted to do, but I thought I couldn't do it, or I thought I wouldn't know how, because I'm passive aggressive. In my past, I think I use passive aggressiveness to avoid and shirk responsibility. I would act helpless. I'd act helpless, and I created this situation around me where everybody felt like they had to help me because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stand up for myself. I couldn't figure out anything. So everyone was doing everything for me, and they didn't have a choice because they cared about me and they wanted to help me, and I didn't know how to stop being helpless. Like my dad said, helpers are con men who offer something for nothing. They're not offering it for nothing. They're not. They care about you and they're trying to help you. But when you're asking for it, for something that you can do yourself, then you're asking for something for nothing. So in reality, you're the con man. And you don't realize it. You're creating that situation yourself by believing that you're incapable, by thinking you can't do it, by waiting for everyone else to take care of your problems. Whatever the case is, you're doing it to yourself. And then you act helpless, and then you get mad at other people when they can't give you what you need. So I'm speaking directly to myself here. I'm not, and maybe I'm speaking for you too. If you feel that way, if you realize that tendency within yourself to, impose your desires on other people and cause a situation where they feel sorry for you or they want to help you, and then this dependency relationship occurs where they're giving you stuff and you're taking and sometimes like you're acting out, but then you apologize and then you act poor me and please help. Oh, I'm so sorry. Help me. That's not healthy. It's not healthy, and that's how I lived most of my life. And maybe you live that way. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's something that we know we're doing. Like the people that do that, they're not. At least for me, I didn't do it intentionally. Like I didn't know that I could be self-sufficient. I didn't know that I could be great. I didn't know that I could be powerful. I didn't know because I thought I was a hopeless sinner heading for hell, saved by only God's, merciful grace. And if the thread was to be cut on that little spider web over hell, I would burn in the flames, just like Jonathan Edwards' Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Read that sermon a few times and see how it makes you feel. People would actually commit suicide after listening to his sermons. How's that for a wonderful revivalist preacher? Yeah. Anyhow, I don't think that when you send a message, you give a message that causes people to hate themselves so much that they kill themselves. Yeah. I'm not quite so sure that comes from the God that I want to worship. Sorry, Jonathan Edwards. I'm sure you had some good things to say, but yeah. Anyway. Let's see. Sunday night, bring home Taco Bell for everyone. Oh yeah. Cool. All right. Work in progress. I did that tonight. I got the 4 or 5 layer burritos I was going to get for everyone. So I will congratulate myself by making a big, giant star on this 22. You're seeing my process as it is happening, right? This is not a polished process. That's why this is a unique situation. If you stumbled onto this video and you see this, then you're in store for an adventure because I don't know where this is going to go, I'm not a polished speaker. I am not a polished presenter. I am not a polished anything. I am raw energy and undirected fury, but I'm learning to take all that energy and direct it. And so you're seeing as I go through these stages, if you're able to follow me, awesome. If you're still with me, that's awesome here. I'm happy to have you on my channel. I have about 2,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel right now. I haven't been very active. I put out some videos about, some singing and some piano lessons but I haven't been passionate. I haven't revealed to you my real passion, mostly for fear of exposing deep or being too loud or too, whatever, I tried to always kind of be whatever. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm letting it come out. So if you see this video and you like the idea of following someone in their journey, and you may see me stumble here, there may be days when I really fuck up and you see me fall on my face. And I think that I have the courage to share that on YouTube. So, I'll document things. This is going to be like a video journal for me. I'm going to document it on YouTube, and that's kind of almost like accountability for me. It's really accountability because it's like I'm putting it out there into the world. At first I thought I'll just do this for myself. I'll just record this for me and maybe I'll play it for my therapist. But I think the more I put it out there, the more real it is to me, because then it's like I have to do this. I've set this up for myself. I'm not going to stop. And maybe that's the reason why I didn't do it before. Is I was afraid that if I started it, I'd back out. And all these people would be watching me, and I'd give up, and I'd be afraid of the attention or whatever. I'm not afraid of the attention anymore. I'm not. If this channel picks up, if I get some new subscribers because of this video, that's great. I'm great. I'm glad to have you on board, and I hope maybe one day we can, talk about life experiences or, goals or dreams that we have, and we can build each other up, But I am going to post this video on YouTube, and I have this other one that I'm posting. I started that one first. I believe I'm going to call that one my okay. I know. I figured it out. Okay. So I'm going to use the purple hair as a kind of like a symbol of the cocoon opening and the butterfly coming out. So that's the symbol. So I think I'm gonna call the video of me documenting my hair journey, where I talk, I talk about my desire to get my hair dyed, and talking to various, hairstylists and whatnot, and finally finding Alicia at Taco Bell who can dye my hair. And I'm gonna go to her house tomorrow and video the whole thing. That's going on YouTube after I get my hair done. So I'll probably post this before that. So if you get this, probably the next video that's gonna come out will be my transformation, and a document. I'm gonna string all the videos together as one, showing my process of going from this into my new hairstyle and the journey that I take, creating new hair, getting a new hairstyle in purple as my way of coming out of my cocoon and becoming a butterfly. So that's probably the title. I'll try and incorporate something like that. So that might be my these things are starting to I'm just piecing these together. I never made the connection before, but it's starting to connect. Like, I'm starting to see how can I weave this together, and how it can have a deep symbolic meaning for me, So that's the symbolic meaning. And so I'm gonna post this video first. So where are we at? So Taco Bell. So I did that. I got the 5 layer burritos. What's next? 24. Quit sure. Oh wait, no. 23. Send screenshots of pay stubs to social worker. Get login info. Okay, I did that. That's in process. See that? I'm trying to get food stamps to help me supplement my income, get some free food and whatnot. And so in the process of doing that, they have to get my pay stubs from Taco Bell, where I'm working now. And somehow I lost access to my APS account, which is where I log in and I can see my PayPal, my pay stub details. And so I lost access to that. It won't let me in with my email and password. So I asked Tim tonight, remembering, because I wrote it down, whereas normally something like that could take me like literally a week or two. I'm telling you, it would take me a week or two, and I would only do it when I finally remembered, and it was like last minute I had to do it, But now I'm starting to, take the bull by the horns. I'm starting to do it every single day, and like be mindful. So I asked him about it. He said, look, I can have the woman in charge send you a new, pet link to change your password and give you a username, and then you'll be able to log into your password, your APS account, and then I can take a screenshot, of my pay stub, send it into social services within, I think I have 8 days to do it, and then they'll review it, and then I'll have my final word on how much money I'm going to get for food stamps, and I'm hoping it's at least $100. He said it's probably going to be in the ballpark of $120, maybe $140. So that'd be wonderful. An extra $100 in food will be fantastic. Even though I can't technically, I can't feed my family with it. I can't make meals and serve it to them, which is what I really love to do. But it's okay. I'm okay with like the one meal a day, a week that I'm going to buy for my mom. Like, if she wants to buy it, that's okay. Or I will also offer to buy it to get the food myself if I can afford it, So I'm sure mom's happy to buy the food for me. So if I don't have much money, I'm sure she'll be willing to buy it. I think really it's the act behind it that she cares about, and she really likes it when I cook food, even if she gets the food for me. Like, and I love making food for my family. I've had a few interesting dishes. Actually made scrambled eggs once, and I tried to be a little creative, a little in a strange way. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I added some garlic and some cinnamon and some nutmeg. It was oh boy, was it nasty. But my mom was so pleasant about it. Like, she was eating the eggs, and she wasn't saying, "Oh, it's gross," and she was oh, that's interesting. And she was eating, she wasn't making a bad face. And I was eating, I was like, oh, this stuff's really bad. And then my dad ate it, and I was really like, when I was making the breakfast for them, I was literally crying. I was like, this is the point where I was wanting to my life, where I feel like I can finally like be a real human being and like start helping and serving other people. Because I was just so focused in my mind trying to figure out the mysteries of heaven and hell that I couldn't live my fucking life. I couldn't live my life. So I'm done with that. I'm done with the eternal questions that go nowhere but lead to more questions. I'm going to live my life for each day, and that's what counts, is living your life each day. And then that's how you build a beautiful life out of yourself. You don't build it by constantly thinking about the big questions and like trying to figure out the ultimate destiny of the universe and everything. You can't do it. It's a bunch of guesswork. Just have good intentions, love people, do things that make you happy, do things that make other people happy, and you will have a wonderful life. That's all it is. It doesn't matter your doctrine, your specific beliefs, your culture, your heritage. If you love people and you're kind to people and you want to build like hope and joy, and you like spreading hope and joy both for yourself and others, that's all that's necessary for a happy and meaningful life, you know? In my personal belief, it's hard to have that kind of a belief without a belief in a higher power or a universal consciousness or transcendent being. If you believe that, you know, we're just here by accident and life is an accident and evolution created us from monkeys and everything's random. If that's your mindset, then personally, I think it's hard to have that hope and that purpose. But I could be wrong. There may be atheists out there that do have purpose and hope, the kind that I'm talking about, but you know, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll leave that up in the air. So, what's that? 24? I was at 24. Use QuitSure to stop smoking. I already told you about QuitSure. Amazing. Like people that were smoking for literally 2-3 decades, tried everything, patches, meditation, hypnosis, gum, vaping, whatever. And QuitSure did something that they did in their psychology, in the act. I guess there's some weird, bizarre exercises that they have you do that just retrain your brain on how to think about nicotine and cigarettes. And there's also like a lot of reading to do that you just read it and it gets into your subconscious and it like makes you think differently and you feel differently every time you want to pick up a cigarette and smoke it. So I'm going to do it. I don't know when, but I will make time for it. And when I'm ready to do it, that will also be part of my video journal, and I will talk about that. So, and I will talk about when I mess up. And I messed up today, but I work at Taco Bell, which is fast food, and I'm not ready to quit. So that will happen, but that's not going to be immediate. I have enough on my plate with what I've got. I don't want to deal with stopping smoking right now. So. You can only handle so much. I need the cigarette. I don't need the cigarettes, but my psychology thinks I need the cigarettes for the what I'm about to embark on, because this is an enormous change for me. What's happening here, and I don't want to go off the wheel. And cigarettes relax me, and they help me to, if I'm not smoking all the time, if I'm smoking all the time, I'm wasting my time, and then I start smoking, and then I'm not, trying to make my life better. So it's a fine balance. I do enjoy a cigarette after I've had a long stretch of really deep thinking, or I create something. It's kind of like a reward, but sometimes it can get out of hand, and then I start rewarding myself all the time, and pretty soon I'm just rewarding myself with nicotine, and I'm not doing anything creative anymore. And then I'm like, what the hell, dude? I sat here for a whole day, and all I did was look at crypto and stocks and look at YouTube and smoke cigarettes. What the hell did I do with my day? I don't want to do that anymore. No, stop. So just stop it. T-shirt business, eventually. Okay, so yeah, the t-shirt business has been on my mind. That's something I wanted to do for a long, long time. I want to create a really positive branded t-shirt company, and eventually branch into other types of apparel, hats, pants, sweatshirts, whatever, hoodies. But my first dream was Eternal Clothing. I wanted to take Eternal Clothing, but Eternal Clothing was already taken, and I wanted it to be like a more like a divine message. But really, what I want to do is like really have a really overall, just a really positive branded company that focuses on not just a spiritual, but also just like a practical, like in an encouraging method. Like I saw this girl walking into Taco Bell today. She had this hat on. She said, "Never, ever give up." I was like, oh my God, that was Grandpa Ray's favorite line. Grandpa Ray was my grandfather, my father's father. And he always said the line. And he struggled his whole life with the system. He was bipolar or he was labeled bipolar anyway. And he'd been labeled and put in jail, and all for knocking over a garbage can in the superintendent's room, because Ray didn't agree with the way they were teaching the kids, and he wanted them to learn about God in a certain way, and they didn't appreciate it. So my grandfather went on a very strong mission called CTA 13, Corinthians, CTA. based on the book of the 13th chapter of Corinthians, which is the book of love. What love, it's not a clanging cymbal. It's pure. It's unselfish. It's love is pure. Love is real. Love is earnest. Love doesn't hold grudges. Love forgives. Love forgets. All that good stuff. And I guess the school they didn't want to hear it. And so he just wanted to teach kids a full godly message, and it didn't go along with the state of California. So he was attacked by a lot of there were some nasty lawyers involved and whatnot. It's a sordid story. I don't know much about the story. I've never read any of his writings, but one day I don't know. I've asked my parents to share me with the writings with me, but I haven't been focused enough to do it. But one day I do want to read his writings, and something tells me that they might not just be all rantings like my parents say. There might be something to it that's more than what they're telling me. And I think there's a lot more to my grandfather than I realize, I think Grandpa Ray has a lot more substance than my parents realize. I think he was a very deep, very, very deep thinker. I didn't realize it when I was younger, but I really think that CTA 13, his vision for having a biblical and also like godly education for the kids. Like, I don't know what it entails, and I don't know the ins and outs of it. And maybe I wouldn't agree with it. Maybe it's imposing on the kids. I don't know. I have to read the works before I can make heads or tails of it. He always say that about movies. Can't make heads or tails of it because a lot of the modern movies he couldn't understand. And he'd just say, I can't make heads or tails of this. He had some funny things. But anyway, that was one of his common sayings he always say is, never, ever, ever give up, which is actually originally I believe it was said by Winston Churchill, maybe about something with World War II, but I know it was popularized by Winston Churchill. And so when I saw her hat, the girl that walked in to talk about, I mentioned to her that my grandfather used to always say that line, and that it's from Winston Churchill, and she told me that this guy that she got it from was on Instagram, and I think his name was Christian something. I don't remember the last part of it, but Christian something on Instagram. And so I was like, oh man. And so I wrote it down, but then for some reason, I may have thrown it away, but I checked my garbage, couldn't find it, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, at Taco Bell, because I wanted to go there myself to the Instagram page and say, hey, I saw a customer in Taco Bell wearing your hat, and I wanted to get one, but I couldn't find it. So I found these other shops that had the same saying, never give up. And so that is one of my new, I want that to be one of my really deepest course beliefs is never give up. That's crucial, because if you give up, if you have a habit of giving up, or you stop when the going gets tough, then you'll never cross that threshold and get to the bigger goal. You'll never reach the higher goals if you're giving up at the little goals. So the give up, and this is another one that I wrote down. This is another one that I saw. And this was actually, I believe this was on the QuitSure app. Yeah, this was actually on the QuitSure app that I saw this. And I was like, I have to write this down. I have to memorize this. I have to internalize this. Here it is. Believe you can, you're halfway there. See? It all starts with belief. And I knew that deep down. For the longest time, I didn't quite know how to access that. But I knew that somehow belief was behind everything, Belief is behind everything. What you believe about yourself, about the world, about God, about your purpose becomes your reality. You make the world the way you perceive it. The objective world, I'm not sure it exists the way we think it does. We think this is the world, this is how it is, but we don't realize how much we are projecting and how much of the world conforms to our perceptions, our beliefs, our biases, our prejudices. It appears a certain way. It looks that way. It feels that way. It tastes that way. But then when we take off the rose-colored glasses and we see with our real eyes, that's an idea that Kant used. Immanuel Kant said, everyone's going around with rose-colored glasses. Your perception, you say that the world is this way. You say the world is that way. Oh, this world is this way. We are all looking at the same thing, but each person has a different pair of glasses on. And you can't really understand what the real thing is in itself until you can understand that you are not seeing the real world as it is. You're seeing the world through your biases, through your perceptions, through your experiences, through your beliefs about yourself, through your limitations of your mind, through words that you believed about yourself that other people have said about you. All these things are making up the rose-colored, or in some cases, maybe not rose, maybe like, smash glasses, depending on, how badly your life is turning out or how bad you look at your life. But, if you realize that that's not how the world really is, and your perceptions are coloring the world, you'll realize that stereotypes, like, they don't really exist. I mean, they're there, but you're creating them. You're projecting them. We're all the same. We are all the same. And when we realize that we're all the same, we can take those stereotypes off and just connect. Just connect and enjoy and love and resonate with each other, So, 26, Tuesday, therapy men's group, bring phone for Jeff. All right, so Jeff is this guy. I said Jeff. Robert's his name. Let me fix that. I'll fix it really. I forgot his name, so I put Jeff in parentheses. I just remembered it's Robert. I would remember that because I offered to buy him a phone once, just as a kind gesture, because I asked him if he had a phone or any recording devices, right? Or any a phone or any kind of way to connect with the world. And he said he didn't, and he never really had a phone or anything. So I thought I'd do something kind to him, and I told him that literally, like, what is it? It's been probably 3 months that I told him that. And each time I see him, I say, "Oh, I didn't forget about you. I'm gonna get that for you." And I forgot it this time. And then for a while I was like, "Oh, maybe I won't give it to him." And I'm like, "No, you said you were gonna give it to him. Be a man of your word and be prompt about it. You don't have to wait, 3 months before you make good on your promises." So this is that astronaut over there. He's the one that's lighting up this room with all these lights, these cool green lights. I'm not sure if you can see it now, but you can see the red over there. That's the aurora borealis that it creates. I made a video on TikTok of that. I bought that on TikTok. It's really cool. It's called the astronaut projector or something like that, and it projects like lights on your ceiling, and it's really cool. I got it for like $20 or $25, I believe, on TikTok. And then anyway, the phone's over there. So phone's over there. And so Tuesday is therapy and men's group. So Tuesday is the day I'm going to remember. And then I have it right here. Tuesday, Thursday, men's group. Bring phone for Robert. So it's written down. I will do it. I'll bring the phone to him and I'll say, "Here's your phone that I promised. And do you need some help getting it set up?" And I will help him out with it if I have time. Or I'll just give him the phone and just say, "Hey, figure this out." I'll reset it for him so it's blank and it's ready for his information. Anyway, that'll be fun, teaching him about like how to set up email. He's probably never had an email account or a Google account. So that'll be fun to teach him, So 27. Oh, clean webs, as you saw, I did that. 28, put in installation. Install installation. Oh, I did write that down. Okay, so I can delete this here. Let's delete this. I didn't see that there. So I already mentioned that. I just forgot that I did. So put up installation. And you see this process I'm going through. Like, this is not a perfect process, and you will not get it right the first time. It's trial and error, and you have to learn from your mistakes, and you grow each time. That's the only way you can begin this journey. You will never be perfect. You will always make mistakes, and it's okay to make lots of mistakes, so long as you're willing to learn from them, and you figure out what you did wrong, or you figure out, like, how to have a better memory, and you'll get a better memory as you start doing this, and as you start meditating and thinking about your goals and dreams. All right, so the next one, get colored dry erase marker. Get colored dry erase markers. Well, as you can see, I already did that. I bought that at the dollar store, so I put a star by that. Cool, excellent, done, complete. And now we're on 30. 30, where's 30? Do I have a 30? Oh. Progressive lenses. Yes. So I didn't know these existed. My mom told me about these. I mean, I heard progressives. I didn't really understand what they were, but because the problem I've been having lately is that I have nearsightedness, right? I can see fine up close, but when I want to see far away, I put on my glasses, but then like if I want to look up close, like right now, even looking at the screen it's blurry for my eyes. I can't literally, in order to see clearly, now I see perfectly, right? I see perfectly, and this is a problem. And I just accepted it forever, and I didn't do anything about it. Well, I guess that's just how it is, That's how glasses are. It sucks. I didn't ask about it. I didn't inquire about it. Therefore, it's like I was just stuck in limbo. I wasn't even curious. I didn't even wonder if there was a solution because I was so set in just being a caterpillar, because caterpillars don't try to figure out how to fly. They don't try to figure out how to improve things. They just kind of crawl around and munch on green stuff, and that's all they do. So I figured out from my mom that with lenses, they're progressive. So like as you move from one end to the other, like it might be on the top, it might be long distance, but then as you get close, you can literally go like this, and pretty soon you can see clearly. So that's what I need. I have the insurance to do the eye exam. And I could probably get and I know I can get the progressives on a company called Zenni Optical. Now, I would encourage you to go to Zenni Optical. Don't ever pay lots of money for frames or glasses if you're tight on money, because Zenni Optical can do it for like so cheap. I think I got like my frames. I got ones. They actually had the Moyer Melodies. It was written. I lost those glasses are around, but I know they're around here. They were around here somewhere. And then I lost them. But what time is it? Oh my god, it's late. I didn't get to bed. Anyway, I lost them. But they're in here somewhere, and they have More Melodies, which is the name of my individual producing company, my music company, who I am. More Melodies. It was written in purple or blue on the side of the glass, coming like $25. So I'm gonna go through there to get the progressive lenses. So that I can, to get the frames and stuff. So that I don't know how much that'll cost me, but I'm going to do that, and then that will be awesome. And then I will be able to stop going like this. And this is even just this little thing is distracting. Like I don't want to do this. I just want to go like that and have convenience and just go, oh, that's cool. Nice. I can read it now. Why make life harder for yourself if you don't have to? So, and the last thing is buy a juicer. Oh wait, listen to, Catcher in the Rye. I think I talked about that. So the Catcher in the Rye. So guess what, guys? I think we covered it. That is my entire list. That is all that's on my vision board right now. That is all the short-term goals and long-term goals I could think about that are the most important to me at this moment in time. This list will constantly evolve and change. At some point, I already took a picture of it, but at some point, I will reorganize this as I accomplish more and more goals. I will transfer the accomplished goals, and I will probably like put these in my journal on like a list of when these goals were achieved and maybe when they were achieved, and start keeping track of it. And that way, I can really record my progress as I go, even on a day-to-day basis. So it's really interesting. I've enjoyed talking to you for 2 hours. Oh my god, this is a long video. So I don't know if anyone's watched to the end. If you're still here, holy cow, you have a lot of patience. And I wish you the best in your life. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you weren't offended that I wasn't wearing a shirt. I'm not trying to like be naked or anything, but I'm in the comfort of my room, and I don't like necessarily wearing like all my clothes on in the comfort of my own room. So I hope I didn't accidentally flash you a picture of my underwear or anything. They're boxer briefs, so they're not like, tidy whities or anything. So hopefully I'm not too indecent for you. If you made it this far, thank you for watching this far. If you were inspired at all by anything I said, or if anything I said resonated with you, or if you want to join, you want to continue watching this journey, I'm going to be raw. And I'm okay with that. And I think for a long time in my YouTube channel, I was afraid to be raw. I was afraid to show my true emotions because I didn't know what people would think, or I thought either that I'd get too much attention, I'd be scared, or I wouldn't get any, or people would think I was crazy or whatever. But I'm just going to put this out on YouTube, and I'm probably going to title it My Vision Board and my vision board and my hopeful transformation for the future, something like that. So I'll post it on YouTube and then put some hashtags on it, and I'll see what happens. I'll just see what happens. I'll try to be I'll try to answer comments and questions. I don't know how, if anyone will respond to this. There may be no responses. There may be a couple responses. If there's if it catches on, if this, I don't think it will. Who knows? I don't know if this will, maybe only 5 people will see it. Maybe it will resonate with someone or a lot of people. I have no idea. I don't know how things go viral. I really don't. But I know this is a long video and most people probably will not watch it. But if you're one of the 2,000 subscribers that I have, and you've watched this channel and you know anything about my story, my bipolar, the music that I put out, I know not many of you are active members and you haven't really seen any of my videos in a long time because you're not actively subscribed. And so all I would say to you is, if you found meaning in this video, then go ahead and just hit that all notification button on all the videos, and that way whenever I post a new video that's going to be like this or similar to this, I'll try and make most of my videos not meaningless stuff. I speak from the heart and I speak from experience, and I try to speak honestly and whatever. But go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Or you already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you don't mind being notified when a new video of mine comes out, go ahead and hit that black bell for receive all notifications for when new videos are put out. And then feel free, if something that I said touched you in some way, you want to vent about anything that's happened in your life, maybe something that I touched on you, whether it has to do with religion or a belief system that you've had, or a belief system that's been imposed upon you, or something about, limitations, or believing you can't do it, or dependency, or wanting other people to solve your problems, whatever those is. If anything I said resonated, go ahead and subscribe and join this community, and let's get to know each other. Feel free to leave a comment, whatever you want. It's up to you. God bless you guys. Today's Easter, or yesterday was Easter. Have a great Easter. Have a great day after Easter, and hope to see you guys all, sometime in cyberspace or elsewhere in the ether of the universe. God bless.